I did not have the money to buy the farm when he bought it, but he wanted it. And no, the other one was a neighbor man that, well, he was the husband of a school teacher at our one-room school, and he worked for the Harmons for years because their son had impregnated two gals that they had on the homes that they were, and he married one, and they paid John Gunnett to marry the other one. And of course, this was something that my parents weren't ever supposed to know. And it was difficult, but when Jane Lamer and I were talking, and she had told me that Mrs. Gunnett had died, and well, I said, what about her husband or something? And I said he wasn't Nelda's father. So, and she said, you knew that? And I said, yes. Now, my parents found that out in New Kingston. I don't know how, but there was somebody in that area was doing history or
genealogy.
Pregnant people, doing abortions.
Well, now what about the farm though? The sale of the farm to Larry Campbell. There wasn't a story about Pappy buying that on a handshake or selling it to Larry Campbell? You said that was a neighbor?
No, that was John Gunnett. No, Larry was just trying to get as cheap as he could, what he could afford to handle. And then Pappy said he would leave money in the house that he didn't have enough to cover to pay cash for it. So
what do you mean he'd leave money in the house? What does that mean?
He didn't take all of the cash money. Larry owed him for the balance that was due in the house, and he paid him a check every month. That's how he paid it off. Because, you see, he didn't have any money to go. He was like Pappy and Mimi when they moved to the farm. They bought the Highland, paid for it, but they didn't have any money to buy the implements and stuff to operate it.
But now, when he bought it, wasn't it with the intention of changing it into an airport right then?
Oh, no.
He bought it as a farm?
No. When my father and mother bought the farm.
No, I know, but Larry Campbell.
Larry, no, he knew what he wanted to do. But he knew he didn't have the money to do it.
And so he bought it, and then Pappy...
Well, bought it, and then he paid so much per month plus interest. And
so they didn't use a bank.
Pardon?
They didn't use a bank loan.
No, it was my father's money.
He floated the loan.
But it was written up with Jane Lamer. That's who settled it.
Oh, okay.
So she knew. She was Larry's lawyer, and of course then I had later I had her write Pappy and Mimi's will because I could understand what was going to happen. Can you imagine what a mess I would have had my parents not predeceased my brothers?
Wait, say that again?
How much trouble I would have had if my parents had not predeceased my brothers. Because my father did not want M's children to have any of the estate, which And that's why I had the will rewritten down in Frederick, Maryland. And of course, Jimmy got his share, but he didn't save 1 cent of it. He had it spent in less than a year, loaning it out to people who never paid him back. But he was the big boy. And of course, John was, he was deceased before that, but what my parents wanted to do was set it up that it would be in a trust and I would be the trustee of the trust. And they would get so much a month. And Jane said to my father, that's putting a lot of responsibility on Claire to do that, because they would have fought me every turn of the way, wanting it earlier and that. And I'm certainly glad she did that and that my parents accepted it. But then, after that, when they found out that definitely they had adopted the girls, and that Uncle Jim Brother Jim had made arrangements to adopt them. Then, of course, Emma died, and here were these 2 girls, and he could not take care of them. He was never fond of children. He bought them toys to play with, but he never played with them. So he finally got them into the Veterans Homes for Children in Pennsylvania, which is up around where Susan went to school, Shippensburg area. And so then the one got pregnant and she got married.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go. Let me take this one away. I forgot how we initially got off into the railroad conversation, but we were doing James Smiley. Maybe on to the next page.
Well, this is the same picture as this one.
Yes.
And this picture when Jimmy, do you want to take it out?
No, that's okay. I recognize Susan.
This is Jimmy and Dolores and Uncle Jim, and that's Aunt Susan, Mimi and Pappy. This is Uncle's sponsor. I don't know who those people are.
Maybe related to Dolores somehow?
No.
Friends?
This was at Uncle Sponsor's farm. That wasn't at our house, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
It's probably friends of theirs.
Or it could be related to Susan, maybe.
Possibly.
And here's the clan.
Right?
Here's the clan.
The Queens.
The Queens.
There's nothing that you want to know about it.
No.
Which is this is Aunt Becky. This is Aunt Lily. Okay.
How much do you remember about them, just personally? I mean, I know Pappy's stories and everything, but how much do you remember?
I do not remember her at all.
That's Hannah.
Yeah. I remember her because we visited back and forth, and she and Uncle Jake used to come over and help Pappy and maybe butcher the hogs.
That's Lily, okay.
And She died in 1932.
That's Arilla.
Yeah, she is the one that used
The snuff.
snuff. Of course, my father said that's what killed her.
Now, did she die?
Same year that her
Before?
mother died.
Yeah, before or after her mother? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
No. I think it was after, and that's Aunt Becky.
So that one must be Maggie.
And this is Maggie.
Okay.
And of course, you know the story of her.
Of who? Maggie?
Maggie.
No wait.
As